Hello friends and welcome back to BISP Solutions. So let's continue our session on Oracle Fusion Financial. That too we are going to cover accounts receivable. So let's start our session. So in the last session we have seen the automatic credit memo transaction. Okay. So today we'll start creation of receipts. So from we remember that we have created a credit memo transaction of 2000. We have created this in the last section. Actually we have created the invoice transaction of 6000. Okay, then we have created a credit memo of 2000, so we were having a remaining amount of 4000. Okay, so we were having the remaining amount of 4000. So now what, now the customer is paying this 4000 amount. Okay, so now customer is going to pay this 4000 transaction. So we'll see how we can create the receipt for this 4000 transaction of 4000. So before creating the receipts, let me introduce what is actually receipt in accounts receivable. So receipts in Oracle Fusion refers to payment received from customers. They are used to record payments made against invoice. Okay, an example I have explained that 6000 receipts we have created, and the credit memo we have created of 2000, and now remaining amount is 4000, so we'll create receipts for 4000. So let's go to the instance. Go to navigator. Just the site is working slowly today, just wait. Okay, so we'll go to the navigator and then we will search for the receivables workbench. Receivable workbench, go to billing and we'll see our previous transaction that we did. Go to task list and search for the transaction that we already created. Search for the business unit. Or search by the name of the customer if you know. So this many transaction we did. We will find our transaction. This is 6000 we did in the last session, whose transaction number is 1001. So we'll click on it and see what actual transaction is. Okay, so this is the transaction we created in the last session. Just I'll show you the entry, then we'll move ahead. We'll see the balancing details. You see how much customer needs to pay. Now 4000 customer needs to pay. Okay, so we created the original invoice of 6000, then we created the credit memo of 2000. Now remaining amount is 4000. So now we will create the receipts for the 4000. Click on done. Go to navigator. Click on billing. Receivable, go to account receivable, because we are going to receive the amount now. So click on the task list, create a receipt. Standard receipt, select our business unit. Select the receipt method, that is SPL check. Create the receipt number which you want to create. Let's say I want to create 5 times 2 or 4 times 2. 4 times 2. This is the receipt number we are going to create. The same, the transaction number and amount. We are going to earn 4000, the remaining amount. Fill on the all the mandatory detail. Remittance bank, our bank only. Sometime when it doesn't come, you go with the account name, click on contains. Okay, let me explain. Click on this, add open receivable. We are having one credit memo, so that reference number was 1001. This is previous reference number. Click on search. This is our invoice. Click on add. You see 4000 remaining amount. Click on add and click on done. This we have created. So this is we can create. So this is how we can create receipt for the remaining 4000 amount. Now submit and apply manually. This SPL is not coming. I've already created this SPL today. Really this site is working. Let me search for the name of the see the SPL bank has come. That means we have the account number. When we create the bank branch, that time only we create the account number. So the bank has come, the branch has come. Don't know why this account is not coming. There is a issue in the site, that is why it is not coming. Otherwise it would have showed SPL corporate bank account. Okay, but not showing. Not, then let me so will not wait for this. There is a issue in the site because SPL bank name is coming. Just SPL this SPL bank. Click on OK. With the bank only everything comes. Now SPL branch and SPL account. You see now it is coming new. There is a issue with the site. Okay, so we'll click submit and apply manually. So this is how the remaining amount we can create the remaining amount. Now action, post to ledger. And now we'll see the accounting. So we have received 4,000, receipt created, confirm cash 4,000. I'll see the details. Save and close. Now go to navigator and see the transaction details in the billing. Go to task and manage transaction. Where is our 1001? This is our 1001. Now we'll see the view balance detail. Now when I click on view balance detail, that means it should show that the original amount was 4,000, 6,000, and the credit was 2,000, and that discount, that adjustment of 4,000, and now it would have shown you balance 00. But due to technical issue, it is showing like this. Let me try one. Just wait. Billing, go to billing and enter our new transaction number, manage transaction, and our business unit SPL, our customer name SPL, search, select our customer and click on search. I think due to technical issue it has not posted. We have the transaction number also, it is not showing. Otherwise I would have shown you that now no more amount is left for paying against the customer. Let me search once again. If it shows here, no, it is not showing. It's okay. So this is how we can create the receipt. When we receive the amount from the customer, remaining amount we can receive from the customer, we can create the receipt for them. So this is how we can create the receipt. Now we'll move to the next transaction. Go to navigator. See, the site is giving trouble. I'll go to account receivable. One more time I'm going to create. Click on task list. We are creating the receipts. Okay, create receipts. Again 4,000 receipts. The remaining 4,000 I'm creating once more. Okay, the SPL business unit, receipt method, SPL, receipt number. This time I'm creating 4 times 3, and SPL bank, SPL branch, SPL account, and the remaining amount was 4,000, and we are adding here. I think select the customer, SPL, search, the data has come. Site is not mandatory. We'll click on add open receivables. Search, we have filled the data. 4,000 remaining amount, receipt, counting date, SPL account, deposit date. No need of giving the additional information. No. The reference number was 1001. Okay, include debit memos, include credit memos. If there is bills receivable, that also select, and include if there is a chargeback, also include, and click on search. No. Okay, so this is how we can create the receipts. we'll click on add open receivable, and then we'll fill the needed we'll give the reference number against which invoice we are creating the receipts. So that was 1001, and we will click on search. So our invoice will come, and then we'll select, and then we'll pay. Okay, we'll click on add since we just did add, and click on done. So this is how we can create the receipts, and I'm cancelling it. Okay, so this is how we can create the receipt. Now let's move to our next task. So we'll create the debit memo now. So let's see how to create the debit memo. Go to navigator, go to receivable, go to billing, and click on task list. We'll create the transaction. Select our business unit. Select the transaction source, that is our SPL. So this is debit memo, so we'll click on debit memo. This is not invoice, this is debit memo once again. Click on search. In the sessions, we have created this transaction source, and we have created the transaction type. In my previous video, you can see how we can create the transaction type. So we are searching our transaction, that is debit memo. Time to search from both the. Okay, no debit memo is coming. Then give the name of the customer, that is SPL. Or let me try with another business unit. FPL. You see, in the SPL business unit, this transaction source is coming, but the transaction type is not coming. It both comes at a time. When we'll click on this, it comes. Okay, so let me click on invoice only. Okay, now, so I'm giving the name of the where I'm going to on whose name I'm going to ship. SPL customer, click on OK. bill to name SPL, search. Okay, then check every detail you have filled, all the mandatory fields you have given, the customer we have given, and now I'll give the amount. Suppose this debit memo quantity 1 I'm giving of 2000. Okay. $1200. So this transaction number the system will generate automatically, and click just show me this another field, that is miscellaneous. In this cross reference you can select against which invoice you are creating this debit memo. Okay, so this here we can choose. Okay, so in that cross reference the debit memo we are creating by referring which transaction. Okay, we can select. So this is how we create the debit memo. Save. Which information is required now? Which one? Line number 1. Okay, description. So description is mandatory, otherwise it will not allow us to move ahead. So this is addition. Debit memo is addition. So now save and close. Save and close. So this is how we can create the debit memo. Transaction number 10. So this is how we can create the debit memo. So in the previous sessions we have seen how to create the transaction, then credit memo, and then the remaining amount, how to pay the remaining amount, how to create the receipt, and now we have seen how to create the debit memo. Our next topic is chargeback. We have one more. If you want to create the transaction with the memo lines, we can create. You see how let's see how to create the transaction with the memo lines first, then we will go with the chargeback. So go to billing workbench. Friend, debit memo is created when we have created any transaction or partial transaction, or say credit memo, or we have applied the partial receipts against the transaction and we are not able to edit the transaction. So in those scenario, if you want to add any additional amount in the existing transaction, the only option is debit memo. Just provide the reference number and we can. So reference number we have seen in the cross reference number, we can provide the reference number. Now we'll see the how to make the transaction through memo lines. You go and create one transaction, create transaction, transaction class invoice, business unit SPL, transaction source. Now we are creating invoice. You see now it is showing. See friends, now it is showing credit memo, debit memo, SPL invoice. So we are getting SPL invoice. There is an issue, that is why it was not showing earlier. Now it is showing. Transaction type SPL invoice. Select the customer, the customer name, SPL, so the customer SPL. See the detail, bill to site has come, SPL customer has come. Now we'll fill the first line, we'll give the description first. Anything we can give. Finance, memo line, okay, let me give you fusion. I'm giving any value, so select any value, it's okay. Finance service, ambulance fee, and research. Okay, so it has come automatically, ambulance fees here. So the unit price has come, the quantity would be 1, or if you want to change the unit price, 1000. When you now you say here, it has also come 1000, and as you click on complete and review, the status will show complete. You show the status, see the status complete. So this is how we can create the transaction with the memo lines. So our next task is chargeback. What is chargeback and why we use in Oracle Fusion AR application? So our next topic is transaction. We have completed transaction through memo lines. This we have completed. And now this also we have completed. And now we'll see the chargeback. Chargeback. So basically refers to the process where a new invoice is created to charge a customer for an outstanding unpaid amount, essentially shifting the responsibility of payment to a different entity. Often it happens internally. So before Moving towards this task, we need some configuration, so we'll go on our project and we'll select chargeback. We'll open one project. We have SPL. Let me open this SPL. Go to the task, manage receivables, activities. We'll search with the business unit. Okay, so you see this many transaction we have created with our SPL business unit. Chargeback also created, reversal also we have created, but once more I'm going to explain this chargeback to you. Okay, so we'll click on chargeback adjustment. You see which account here it is selected. Credit card chargeback. Okay, it's okay. So we have to see where the what is the GL account in this now. It's okay. Save and close. Now I'll create the transaction. We'll go to navigator. We'll go to billing. In the billing, go to task list and create the transaction. So it is invoice. Business unit would be SPL. So we are creating the invoice, SPL invoice, transaction SPL invoice, and let me search SPL invoice, debit by amount, credit by amount, so it is showing or not. Okay, so we'll move to our task, SPL invoice, and the date. Bill to name, select our customer. Search for our customer. Okay, here also the customer has come. See the necessary fields are filled or not, currency, everything we have given. Now I'll give the description which is mandatory, so I'm giving goods. Suppose quantity 1, and I'm giving the unit price 1200 for chargeback. 1200. Unit price is 12,000, let's say. Okay, so this is the transaction we are going to create. We had a transaction of 12,000 we are creating. So this is the transaction. Okay, we have created one transaction of 12,000. This is the transaction we have created. Now click on complete and review. So our transaction is completed, friends. Now what we will do, now suppose what is chargeback. So we have a transaction of 12,000 and the customer is paying only 6,000. So we'll create, first of all we'll create the receipts of the 6,000. now now we'll create the receipt that customer is paying 6,000. So go to account receivable, how much we are receiving. We are receiving 6,000. For that we need to create a receipt. Go to task list and create receipt. Business unit, SPL, receipt method, SPL check. The number we are giving this time 4 times 4, 4 times 4. Earned amount, we are earning 6,000 out of 12,000. Now 6,000 and SPL, everything has come. Customer, select the name of the customer. Our customer SPL we have selected. Site is not mandatory, leave it. Everything is filled. We have created a term with receipts. I'll click on submit and apply manually. And click on add application. Transaction number. So we have created the invoice of 10,000 and we have created the receipts of 6,000. The transaction number was created by the receipt. So if we do not know the transaction number, we'll try to search by the SPL. Search. The transaction number we that. Okay, so now we'll note the reference number. So for that I'm cancelling this transaction and we'll create one more invoice. Let's go on navigator. First we create the next invoice and then we will see what is chargeback. Go on billing, go to task list, we are creating the transaction. This is invoice, this business unit is SPL, and SPL invoice, So now we have to note the transaction number, friends, otherwise the same problem will come. Okay, so now give the customer detail SPL, this is our customer, and the description is goods and quantity is 1 and the amount we are receiving, that is this time 13,000. Okay, 13,000. Everything is left. Okay, so click on complete and review. See, anything is complete and review. See the transaction number, this we have to copy, that is why it was not coming. So this is our transaction number, this is our transaction number, 13,000 we have created, and now we'll create a receipt against this transaction. So now suppose customer is not able to pay 13,000, so he is paying now 6,000. So we'll create the transaction of we'll create the receipt of 6,000. The status is complete, cancel and go to navigator. Go to navigator and go for the receivable workbench in account receivable. So we are receiving the amount from the customer of 6,000. Create receipt. Business unit, select the business unit. This is receipt method. We'll check. By check we have received the number we are giving 4 times 5. This receipt number we are giving, and we are earning, let's say 7,000 we are earning, and now customer is giving, okay, let's take 6,000 only, otherwise it will make confusion for us. So we have entered 6,000, fill the detail of the customer, account number, SPL, click on OK. So the detail of the customer has come, account also come, everything has come. Click on submit and apply manually. Okay, so we are creating the receipt of 6,000 out of 13,000. We'll click on add application. This receipt number we have given, we have the transaction number also. So here we'll click on add application. Search for the transaction, remove one for the transaction number 006. Search. Now it should come. It has come. You see the balance, the total amount was 13,000, balance due 13,000, and you see, let me click on OK. Now you see, you see amount applied base is 6,000. We are applying for the 6,000. The balance due is 7,000. Okay, you got it, friends? So this is how we can create the chargeback. Now suppose customer is requesting us to provide the due date for remaining amount. So what we'll do, we'll provide the remaining date to the customer. So here only we are going to add, you understood, 6,000 we are receiving and 7,000 is due amount. So now customer is requesting us to provide the due date for the remaining amount. So what in this case we are going, we'll go to the action and we create the chargeback. Here it is not showing. We can create the chargeback from here, and we'll give the details and we'll fill the remaining amount like this we have created. You see, we can first save, and then this option will open. Okay, click on action and click on create chargeback. See, automatically amount has come. The due amount was 7,000. So this is the type is SPL chargeback. Okay, the account has come. You see the account, we have selected the account receivable. Okay, and you can give the reason, you can give the comment, and click on save and close. And again we have to note the transaction number. You see, chargeback. The transaction number is very important, friends, otherwise you won't be able to perform the function. Click on OK. Now we'll see this is applied or not. Go to navigator, go to billing, and we'll see the transaction, manage transaction, search for the business unit, SPL, and select the customer. So this is our customer. We have selected the customer. Click on search. See how many we are having. Select our invoice. This is our 4006, and just we have created one more. So this here it shows. Okay, friends, click on billing and go this, yes, cancel this, and where the remaining amount will show, you'll go this task list and see the manage transaction and search for the business unit, that is SPL, and search your customers, that is SPL, and it will show you with the name of with the transaction number. It will show you with the transaction number of this transaction number of 101004. So it will take time to update. So once it is updated, you click on the chargeback. You see, chargeback, it is not showing here. Since we have submitted, it is not showing here. It will take some time. So when it is updated with the number of 101004, you can click on it and you can see the detail. So this is how we can create the chargeback, and we can create the transaction, we can get the receipts. So for today, this much. Thank you so much for joining this webinar. Let's meet in the next